Hey y'all, Stephanie Lalo Acres here. It is hot out today. We are in Lake County, Florida, centralized for the most part, and it's like 88, I think, and March 1st. Yeah, so I am warm, rolling up my sleeves. I started cleaning out some of my garden beds here. I have some things that I've maintained through the winter and a few things that I started planting, but I wanted to show you a quick tip. Like I was saying, I started cleaning them out and I was like, why am I not sharing this? Because this, in my opinion, this is useful information. It would have helped me a while back when I was building up my garden beds, and so I thought I would give you a little information and help you. So I don't know if I shared way back like last year when I started gardening, or building the beds and sharing on YouTube, but Jeff and I created these raised beds. They're very big. I think they're 9 by 6 or something. They're large, and they're high up so that we could sit on them as we get older. But nevertheless, what we did was I think it's called a hugelkultur style, and basically what you do is you layer inside of your bed. And so here, I don't know if you'll be able to tell or not, we started tearing out some of the old plants that died out, like peppers, and I think this was actually mainly my pepper bed. So I started pulling all the bad stuff out and taking the plants that dried out after I pulled them from the roots, and I'm going to put them back in. I'm going to show you too some of the stumps and things that we put in here and how we're going to start filling this back up for you. Okay, so hopefully you'll be able to see fairly well. I'm just going to give you a quick eyeball view. So we had these beds filled about this high, and as you can see, so that would have made it here from the ground, so almost to the top. And they have now receded almost, based on what I'm noticing here, to the ground in some areas. And then also, digging up the old plants, brought up a lot of roots as well. But I wanted to show you, and you know what, it might be hard to tell, but okay, so here, an example. There we go. Okay, right there. See that? That's a tree stump or trunk or large branch. And what we did is we layered in all over these beds stumps and branches, and literally stumps and branches and twigs, to kind of fill in the gap for when we would want to add dirt. Also, all those microbes and everything that's going to come into the bed, the bugs and everything like that, bacteria, it's going to eat away at all of that good wood and nutrients, and it'll help break down the soil and create a really good ecosystem for our plants. And so we started doing that, and then after we added the stumps, twigs, branches, I even think we added like old leaves and mulch, things we had around the yard. Then we brought in like a gardener special mix, which was topsoil, and I think it's like a third. It's like topsoil, mushroom compost, and sand. Yeah. And then that creates a really good, like, I want to call it dirt, where it's not just all sand. And that breaks down really, really well. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all these branches, or all these, well, it's kind of like branches, old plants from last summer that were peppers, and I'm actually going to shove them into the hole. And then I'm going to spread out, my shovel just broke. I'm going to spread out all this dirt evenly. I'll fill in any gaps from other, oh look, a loofah. Hear that? That's all those seeds. Oh, see, here's another one that you could see I tore it out after it had died off. And I'll fill in all the holes and gaps with those. I'll level off the dirt that's already in here. And then I'm going to go over to this pile there, which is the topsoil, and I'm going to add some of that into my handy dandy gorilla wagon here. And with that, I'm going to add some compost. Hang on a second. Which we have over here. Now, it's not a big amount that we have left, but this we got last, I want to say August maybe. This is actually horse manure compost. It's got, I think, also chicken and some other stuff. We picked it up from a local farmer, which is, it's really good. It's breaking down great. It was a huge pile. So I'll mix that in with the topsoil. And then I'm gonna come over here, and underneath all this brush, I don't know if I'll be able to show you or not. Here, move it out of the way. Jeff and I were digging at it the other day. From this breaking down, this has been here like a year and a half now. Dirt, see all that? This is all broken down, and that's great. Great for the garden. So I'll dig all that out under there that I can. So I'm gonna add this compost. This is basically vegetable scraps and things of that nature. The manure compost, and then the topsoil. I'm gonna mix it together, and I'm gonna add that back into all these raised beds. And I think I'm going to do a thin layer of my mulch, which I got over here, and it's a combination of cedar, pine, and oak, I believe. I will not put it directly where the plants will be. So once I do a thin layer of the cedar mulch down after I've topped all these off, I'll pull away, and I'll show you. I'll come back with a video of that too. I'll pull away about this much in diameter where I'm going to put my plants or my seeds, that the mulch won't encroach on the root system, and the mulch will help keep the dirt moist. Now, we do have a water system, as you can see here, so we have it on a timer and stuff. But yeah, that's my plan. I even came out here just now before I went on to the next bed, and I had a bunch of leftover potting, my own soil block mix that I had from when I was transplanting all my tomatoes. And I said, let's just throw that in there because it's got perlite and meal, bone meal, and all that good stuff. And I'll do that with all my other soil blocks. What I did yesterday, and I just finished now, I don't know if you're able to see it, I got to get the water because the tomatoes look very sad. This is what I did yesterday, and this is a mess. I'm going to have to come in here and weed this out and get my rows set back up. But for now, because my tomatoes were getting so big, I needed to get them in the ground. I'm putting all my tomatoes 2 per, I think it's 3.5 feet, maybe 4 feet, here, and you can see here, and so forth. It came down all the way down, and it's hard to see them because of the grass and weeds. Like I said, I got to come in and clean it out, but I just needed to get them in. And I put them, we're trying something different this time. I put them close to the fence. So as they grow, I'll train them to reach for the fence and kind of use it as a trellis. I also may use twine, or I have tomato cages. We'll kind of just play it by ear and see how that goes. But we want to utilize the fences that we have, and we do have them all around. So like all this perimeter here is going to be like all that will be all my beans. And so all those vining vegetation will have, the fence will be useful for that. There's Roman, he's getting his snow peas. And so yeah, I just wanted to come out and show you a little trick. If you're looking to build your raised beds, you can even do a layered system in the ground, but we try not to do that, only for the fact that we try to keep it as a no-till. We don't really like to disturb the land. This big space that we started last fall, we put a bunch of that mulch down as our base. That's already breaking down, if you can see here. It's already breaking down. Look at this. You know, if I go far enough, you will see some wood chips, you know, but they're small. Look at this. This was all just packed down grass and sand, and we did a thick layer. I have a video of that if you want to go back and check. I think it's the biggest garden we've built. You'll see how much mulch we put down first, and then on top of that mulch, that's great. On top of that mulch, we put that big pile of topsoil as well. Now it's obviously looking very depleted. You can tell it's very woody. So I'm gonna have to come in. I've been bringing in my rabbit and chicken, my baby chicken and my rabbit messes in their hay. And I'm going to spread that down and then put some more topsoil on top of that for added nutrients. And then in this huge space here is only going to be big plants like cabbage, broccoli, you know, bigger plants that need more space. And then the smaller things that I really want to be prolific, like I can monitor with their water or their heavy feeders that are fragile to me. Like this will be all lettuce. Again, my lettuce bed. I do my eggplant with my kale, and I've got that's a whole strawberry patch that we recently put in over here with my red leaf kale. So we have all these strawberry plants in here, and we're hoping that we'll be able to maintain that with my arugula. And then over here is garlic, and I had cucumber in here before, and they got taken out in 2 nights by the worm last year, so I let it go, and I let some of the cucumbers just kind of rot out, and they have reseeded themselves. So I've got about 8 plants in here now on their own. Didn't do it myself, but I'm just leaving a random beet, actually 2 beets. Don't know where those came from either. And so I'm going to monitor this bed as well, because I like to use the trellises once again. They're not the most prettiest, but they're functional, and at this point we're about function. So yeah, that's it. And there's more I can show. I'll probably come out and do a full tour once I have everything in the ground. You can see how nice it is. We've got our potatoes under the tree. I did a bunch of onions over by our watershed, and they're popping up. So once I can get this cleaned up a little bit more, I'll bring y'all back here so you can see what we planted and how we did it. But yeah, this was just like a helpful tip I thought for today, you know, for you to kind of just start thinking about how you want to start building up your gardens and some of the easy, simple tricks that we used. So thanks for coming along. I know it was quick, but I'll be back soon. All right, thanks. Take care, guys. Bye.